Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Build. I'm your host, Cole Delbick from HuffPost. If you are even the slightest bit familiar with Riverdale, then you know that while the show follows Archie and the gang, it actually saves all the best drama for their parents. Joining us today is Määdchen Amick, who plays Betty Cooper's mother, Alice, and she's here to talk about the twisty as ever third season of the hit CW series. And if for some reason you are one of the few who haven't jumped on the Riverdale train, she of course also starred in Twin Peaks, which set a template that countless future series would follow. Before we bring her out on stage, let's take a look at a clip. Let's give it up for Määdchen, everybody.
Oh. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
You know, I've been a fan of the show from the beginning, and I know people ship Archie and Veronica, Betty and Jughead, but I'm shipping Alice and like emotional stability because I just want her to be happy and at peace.
Yes. Alappy.
I like
Do
it.
a new hashtag. Alice happy.
Gonna be
please.
trending. You know, like 3 seasons in, the writers have thrown sort of everything at you. You were unknowingly married to a serial killer.
Yeah.
You've been a victim of multiple like home invasions. A rando teen
Yes.
hustled you as your
The
long lost
gargoyle
son.
King showed up in the Cooper house.
So many things. So, you know, how
Yeah.
do you maintain sort of an emotional reality with these storylines when the twists are coming a mile a minute?
Well, I mean, the thing that I'm learning about Alice is that she's having a real identity crisis. She dives into whatever the persona at the moment she thinks is going to be the thing that she can sort of survive with. She goes all in. So when she's uptight Alice, she's like a bull in a china shop, you know, blows over anybody that's putting anything in her way. And then we had season 2 Alice. That was just an emotional wreck. I mean, that was a hard season to even film. I felt like I had no tears left by the end of the season. And then now 3, she's gone full into like cult hippie Alice. Because that'll fix everything, right?
I know.
That'll negate that she was married to a serial killer.
Yeah, what do you make of this transformation? Because you were saying when we met her, she was really tightly wound.
Yes.
She was this journalist. She was pushing Adderall on Betty.
Yeah.
Very invested in keeping this facade up. And now she's like hippie chic farm clothing.
Yeah.
With
Organic
crystals,
food.
everything.
Yeah.
So what has it
Incense.
been like to play her at so many sort of different moments?
Well, it's fun for me as an actor because I never get bored, you know, and I never quite know when a script comes, what is Alice going to do now? Or they're setting up a situation where I wonder how Alice will react to this. And sometimes it's what they've written, and then sometimes it's an idea that I have that I call up Roberto and go, what do you think about her reacting this way? And he goes, ooh, I love it, you know. So it's good for me because I get bored with roles quickly, especially when you're on an ongoing series. So I love that I never know what Alice is going to do next.
What were some of the things that you suggested?
Well, I struggled with this episode that just aired, where we're live. It might be tonight.
It's tonight.
Oh, okay. There's something that Alice does tonight for the future of Betty that I was like, I don't know if Alice would do that. Like, are we going too far away? And then Roberto had a conversation, and really everything that Alice is doing is she's trying to take away Betty's options, so that the only option is for Betty to follow her to the farm. So
That's a good little tease for tonight.
that's a good little tease.
What initially sort of drew you to the character? Because I read somewhere that you didn't sort of want to play another CW mom, but 3 seasons...
I was just worried because you sort of think like kid show, playing a parent, is there really going to be much of a part? You know, that kind of thing. But I went in and met with Roberto, and he said, okay, do you know Annette Bening's character in American Beauty? I was like, yeah. And he goes, she's going to be like that. She's going to be trying so hard to have this perfect persona, but she's just a hot mess underneath. And I was like, sign me up.
That was it. Sealed the deal.
Yeah.
You know, something I think is so unique to Riverdale is that it's not beholden to like a singular tone. Every week the show is like a sexy high school mystery, then it's a neo-noir mystery, and then it's straight up horror. So
Or a musical.
Or a musical, yes, and I know we're getting a new musical soon, which I'm so excited about. What is that like as a performer to sort of adapt to the shifting tone on set?
I think you just really have to stay grounded in what you know the character to be, the relationships they have. And so even though it starts to feel like some episodes are comedic, you know, and some are really dark thriller, murder mystery, and it's just staying true. I think Alice has so many layers. Sometimes she is hilarious, and then sometimes she's tragic. So I kind of take it moment by moment, but you just have to stay really grounded in who the character is.
I think why your performance is such a standout for me is because I feel like you really lean into the campiness of it. Is that so many insane things are going on that even in your most sort of devastating moments, I feel like it's never taken too seriously because the next episode, we're on to a different thing. Is that how you sort of approach it? You conceptualize your performance that way?
I think I always do the comedic take on Alice, and a lot of times they reel me back, like, okay, Mädchen, that's not a comedy. I'm like, are you sure? Because and that's probably what I bring to the character is just when she like rolls up in the car in the middle of the night honking, like she squeals into the parking lot and Betty, get in the car. I mean, to me, that's hilarious. But yeah, it's true. She's campy and fun.
No, it's some of my favorite moments in the show, especially when you share scenes with Lili. I just felt from the jump there was this history that you both were pulling from, and you immediately felt this mother-daughter connection. And I actually interviewed KJ a couple weeks back, and he was talking that he had this immediate chemistry with Luke on set. Did you two, you and Lili, share a sort of similar journey?
Yeah, I mean, I was hired, and then I went up to Vancouver to do our first table read, and I hadn't met anyone, so I didn't know what to expect. And we just jumped into the table read, and I mean, I was really impressed with the kids' ability because you never quite know, like, what's the cast going to be like. But man, they were incredible actors, and I was like, oh, okay. And then just slowly getting to know Lili and doing scenes with her. We definitely have a kindred spirit. She's very grounded, very intelligent, very, very sensitive and guarded. So I just really appreciate that. She's very authentic, and that's kind of a big deal for me. And then we immediately bonded over having the exact same tattoo on our arm.
What is the tattoo?
It's an arrow.
An arrow. Wow, and you...
Exact same place.
When did you discover that?
At the table read, she put her arm up on the table, and I was like, wait a minute. That's my tattoo. How does she have my exact tattoo?
It's crazy.
So I went over to her and I was like, so what's up with the tattoo? Give me the story. And then we're both big mental health advocates, so we share that in common too. So I just really enjoy working with her, and she's my scene partner, 9 out of 10 times, and I just love working with her.
You started on Twin Peaks when you were a teenager, and that show, of course, became this huge cult phenomenon. What has it been like to see someone like Lili in sort of the eye of that pop culture storm becoming this huge star, and then also speaking out about everything from politics to mental health advocacy?
Yeah.
What has that been like to witness?
I mean, I think on the one hand, a lot of the more mature actors, we've all kind of been through that big fame as teens or young adults. So we watch them going through it going, yep, that's coming. Oh, something else coming up after that, but they do such a good job of navigating it. They're very well grounded and have a good head on their shoulders. Wait, what was the other question?
Just witnessing sort of her rise.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, what I was going to say is that so what's different about what they're going through now is that they have social media to immediately comment on stuff. We're back in the day when we were, coming to our fame, it would be some interview or something that maybe you would give your opinion. Now you can immediately go, that's not okay, politician, or you stop body shaming people, and so that's interesting. That's kind of a big burden for them to take. Do they comment? Don't they comment? If they do, what do they say? I really love that Cammie and Lili are very outspoken about feeling good with their body image and really promoting other young girls to do that too, and calling magazines out when they're photoshopping, and so I love that. I love seeing that they have that opportunity and they're using it well.
I know you're on Instagram. I love your Instagram. Do you interact with
I don't know if I do Instagram well.
No, you're doing it quite well.
Okay. Have fun with it. What can you do?
Is that sort of your mentality? Just have fun with it, engage with things you want?
I mean, it just goes along with the job. I don't necessarily like the fame, but what I found is that it has given me a platform to now speak about things that really mean something to me. So I play the game of, whatever, like posting whatever on set, and then every once in a while I go, okay, let's talk about maybe some educational stuff with mental health. So
I feel like so much of like the Riverdale fandom goes down on Instagram though. Like I love seeing each other's comments and all the posts. Like I feel like Skeet Ulrich is in everybody's comments saying the sweetest, most supportive things.
I know,
Like,
he's very sweet. Yeah.
What is that like? Do you like make an effort to, spread the love across the cast?
Yeah, I mean, it's all organic for me. I'm like, if I say something, usually when I say something to Natalie Bolt, it's usually pretty dirty because we were roommates. And so, I call her my wifey. But yeah, I mean, I think just seeing whatever somebody posts, or sometimes I'll send them a little direct message, like a little private message. I just sent one to KJ last night. Commenting on, I think he said something like, tune into Riverdale tomorrow night. I said, you're not the boss of me. And then he wrote back, yes, I am. And I was like, no, you're not. Anyway.
No, I mean, that comes across on screen, how much fun you guys are having with each other. I want to talk about one episode this season when it was sort of the flashback where the kids played the parents.
Yeah,
and it was,
fun.
I think, one of the most inventive outings of Riverdale to date. And Lili really captured, I thought, your essence on screen.
Yeah.
So was that sort of just a natural pickup of being around you for so long? Or did you guys put in the work? Did she shadow you for a day? What was that?
No, but I'm sure she's observed and absorbed me quite a lot. But she really wanted to make sure that she was paying homage to Shelley in Twin Peaks. So she really looked at my style, and she says she watched some Twin Peaks to see what Shelley was like. I mean, young Alice is nothing like young Shelley, like in spirit. But she really got that look down, which was fun.
Yeah, no, it was one of my favorites. And, so we talked about the musical episode. We now know that after tackling Carrie last season, we're going to do a Heathers musical. And you, of course, played a pretty big part in the Carrie musical last time. So are you looking forward to singing again?
There was a plan that I might show up again, that, Mama Coop would crash the musical again. I don't think it's going to work out with the schedule, though.
Oh, too bad. It was my
Darn it.
Are you a bit relieved? Yeah?
A little bit. I'm always down for anything, of course. Like, I'm a sucker for Roberto's like, lady, do you sing? And I was like, define sing. In my shower and in my car, I'm amazing. And he goes, well, this is the last musical. He was like, well, you're singing 3 songs in the musical. And I was like, oh, God. So I had a voice lesson and, had the voice teacher come. And I'm surrounded by music. My dad was a musician. My husband's was a recording artist. Both my kids are in music. So I'm surrounded by music and I love it. I'm not going to pretend to say that music oozes out of me, because it doesn't.
You could have fooled me, though. It's pretty good.
Thanks.
I want to talk about the farm just a little bit, because it was first mentioned the season finale last year, but we haven't actually gotten that much information yet.
No, it's very mysterious.
They've sort of really teased it out. So talk about why you think Alice is so attracted to the farm and what possibly could lie in the future. Do you think Betty will ever be sort of wooed into the flock?
She's Betty. She's never going to be tricked into that. Betty is Alice's rock. She keeps her very grounded. But Alice is definitely very lured in and the perfect victim for a cult right now, because she just found out that she was married to a serial killer. How did she not know that?
That'll do it.
That'll do it. And just things in general, like, the son that she gave up, that, kind of, and ended up not being her son. And, it was just so much tragedy. So she bought right in. And it has been very mysterious. And I just found out that we've cast Edgar Ever, but I can't say who it is. It's a secret.
I've been waiting to see him.
It's a secret. But so we're going to get deep into the farm, and we're going to get into the cult leader, and so that's, from this point forward, it's going to be a major part of Riverdale.
I have a sneaking suspicion that the farm will somehow dovetail into the Gargoyle King mystery.
That's my theory, too. I don't know for sure. This is total guess on my part. But I'm like, there's got to be some correlation between the Gargoyle gang and the game, and and the cult. I mean, right? I don't know.
Tied up.
It seems like it's two things that maybe are gonna like merge at some point, but I have no idea.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I also want to talk about FP and Alice.
Oh, do you?
That was sort of a long simmering ship that people were dying for them to finally get together.
Yes.
You two also have such great chemistry. What was that like to build that sort of flame throughout those first 2 seasons and then to have them finally sort of enjoy each other, have some cute
Yeah,
moments
but
together?
I don't think we've seen enough of FP and
I want
Alice
more.
yet. Yeah, we've just seen like little glimmerings, but we're just really like keeping it on a simmer. Like I want to see a boil. But no, it's just really great because Skeet is such an amazing actor, so I love having scenes with him. And it's just the fandom took off for FP and Alice like wildfire. But of course, in Riverdale fashion, you can never just get there too fast. There's always got to be like obstacles thrown in the way. So, Gladys has sort of appeared and causing trouble, and so that's complicated because FP's still married.
Right.
That's
And what do you think? I mean, we see a tease that Betty might be reconnecting with her father. Do you think...
which is so sad.
I know.
She's left like
parentless almost.
parentless,
Yeah.
so she actually goes to her serial killer dad for comfort.
Relatable. Do you think we might see some more sort of forward momentum in that relationship, or is it just Alice and Hal, they're done? No.
Oh, Alice and Hal?
Yeah.
Oh, I will. In my opinion, they're done. I still would like to see Alice confront Hal
That's what I mean. I want
on
sort of
screen,
more,
like some kind of closure or something. Yeah,
maybe possibly.
maybe some poison in a cake that gets delivered. Woo!
She said it, I didn't. I want to switch gears just a little bit because you were on the cover of a recent magazine, La Palme
Oh, La Palme,
winter issue.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that, everybody. What was that like? So when you're on set doing a photo shoot, are you sort of going into a character space, or are you just really comfortable in front of the camera?
Well, I started modeling. I came to LA at 16 and immediately started modeling. I was a dancer as well. So I do love them. They're just fun. Like for me, they are like kind of like a little mini movie in that you're going into character. Like whatever it is, you're either glammed up or you're grungy or like whatever. So they're always really fun. This one, I sort of joked and said, I started the party on the floor. It's all uphill from here.
No, it's definitely glamorous.
Yeah.
Party floor, bathroom floor, maybe.
Yeah,
And then we're
I'm
going.
just done already. Done. Somebody take me home.
Well, it's stunning. Congrats.
Thank you.
And you have starred in some of my favorite television programs over the years. Guest spots here or there. And I'd love to sort of go through a couple with you to get maybe an
dear
anecdote.
Lord, okay.
Let's maybe start with Dawson's Creek. You played a
Yes,
teacher.
played a teacher.
What was that like? A memory from set? What comes to mind?
The cast was really sweet. Yeah, everybody was really great. It was in North Carolina. My kids were really little. I had just moved from Hawaii because I was doing a show in Hawaii. So I was a little discombobulated, but I really enjoyed being on it. And it was such a great show. It was so well written.
Classic.
But it was North Carolina. It was really far away from home.
I was actually reading Busy Phillips' recent memoir, and she was talking about feeling so isolated.
It's very isolated,
from
yeah.
the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Next one, Gilmore Girls. You played Sherry,
Yes.
Christopher's fiance, wife moment. Yeah. What was that like? Because you were kind of coming in the middle of a really intense fan
Iconic.
couple, Luke and
Yeah.
Lorelai and Christopher at the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like a fun fact about that is I got really close in the testing process to actually play Lorelai, and I ended up not getting it. They didn't believe that I could be her mom. But that was kind of the whole point, was they were supposed to be like sisters. But anyway, so it was just really cool that they brought me on, that Amy brought me on to do that arc. So it was just fun to go and play on a show that I was really rooting for and enjoyed watching.
Yeah, you were a fan already, I
Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah. But the one thing about them is her dialogue is so brilliant and so quick-witted, and man, I had to be on because everybody else, they were like in the groove. They knew how to talk that fast.
I remember some of the longest scripts around
Oh my gosh.
for Gilmore Girls.
Yeah.
Well, I'd love to see you in a future Gilmore Girls Netflix
yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
Here for that.
Yeah.
Lastly, Gossip Girl. You played Duchess. Had a little fling with Nate.
Little roll around with Chase Crawford.
Not
It's
too bad, I
adorable.
imagine.
No, it was so sweet. Yeah, no, that
What was that like?
One of the first scenes was the scene where I'm sitting in his lap, and we're making out in the car. And I remember he was very sweet and like a little flustered and was like forgetting his lines. There was a couple times I leaned in and prompted him. I was like, "This is your next line." He's like, "Right, yep." He was very sweet. He was he was a gentleman. Very sweet, yeah.
I want to like get a memoir from you one day and just like go in on all.
Oh, I don't know if you're ready for my memoir.
I don't know. I think I'd want to see it. Are there any other shows that you are obsessed with right now that you'd maybe want to do a guest spot on? Or
so I was really at first very resistant to streaming television where you could binge watch stuff. I was like, what, I was like, obviously old school. It's like, how could you release everything? And even with Twin Peaks, they didn't want it to be able to be released and binged watch. Like, they wanted you to watch, like, they wanted to be very safe and adult about it, because it might really mess people's minds up if they watch Twin Peaks all, like, within a night.
that it does.
But now I'm all about it. Like, I just binge watched Ozark, both seasons of Ozark, which was brilliant. I'm a huge fan of Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. I just binge watched Maniac. I mean, I just sort of like find something that somebody says, "Oh, have you seen whatever?" And then I go into the deep hole. And I can't, like, they get you every time at the end of the episode, and then you got to watch the next one, and it's 3 a.m., and so.
Well, I would love to see you pop on all three of those.
Yes.
Yes. I'm going to turn it over to some questions. First, we have one from Twitter. It says, "Hi, Määdchen. What do you think is the biggest challenge women face today?" It's a big question.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty outspoken about, I'm 48, and I've chosen not to do anything as far as like fillers or Botox or anything that's sort of like aggressive and I don't know, just trying to look younger than you are. Because my opinion is, and I don't judge anybody who decides to do that, because everybody has their own choice. I just would really like to see more women who are aging beautifully on film and television, because if you don't show it, then you don't know what it looks like. And then it creates anxieties for young women or women who are aging. So I'm trying to be like a champion of that, and trying not to insult anybody who chooses to do things. So that would be my opinion of what women are facing, is the fear of aging. Because we don't really have like Bridget Bardot's and Sophia Loren's that are just gorgeous and 65 and smoking and, it's great.
I loved a couple weeks back you posted an Instagram sort of in that same vein, and I know it got a lot of positive responses. I mean, that platform you are using to sort of address that.
Just trying to, be another voice. Yeah.
Okay, now we have some audience Q&As. Hi.
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 I love the show, and I'm also a big fan of crossovers.
Yeah.
So if you could choose to do a crossover with any show, what would it be?
Well, at the moment, the actress that plays Madam Satan on Sabrina and I have like a little rivalry happening on Twitter and Instagram. And we're calling each other out. And so a lot of fans are really wanting to see somehow like Alice go on Sabrina or Madam Satan visit Riverdale, which I love that idea. Because they're both like strong, badass women. I'd love to see that happen.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You and Michelle Gomez in a scene is like
Right?
my dream.
Oh, yeah.
Like dream journal.
It'd be so good.
Oh.
It'd
Next
be
question.
somebody's fever dream. Maybe Archie gets...
They love a dream on Riverdale. They can have
Right?
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Hi, my name's Elizabeth. I'm a huge Fallas fan, and I love you so much. And I was just wondering if you could describe Fallas's relationship for the rest of the season. Like, what can you say about them?
Complicated. It's complicated. Because Alice is like drifting farther and farther away into the cult and away from anything rooted in Riverdale. And FP is juggling his ex-wife, who's come back into the picture, and what is she up to? And so, I mean, I know that there's a big fandom, and also the writers really love Fallas. So I know we're going to get to some good stuff. So the things that are sort of start happening they're hard and sometimes heartbreaking. Yeah, thanks.
Next question.
Hi.
My name is Angie. I love you so much.
Thank you.
Can you describe your favorite Fallas scene?
Well, there's one that didn't make it into the cut that maybe will be in like the extras, maybe. But there was a scene between FP and Alice, and the only thing that Alice was wearing was FP's leather jacket. That was kind of fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Buy that DVD extra.
Yes.
Next question.
Hi, you've been on two shows that I follow religiously, Twin Peaks, of course, that really much wasn't known about it, and it just exploded and has a huge cult following, the same with Riverdale. What's that experience been like for both shows, especially since they've occurred so far apart in terms of years?
Yeah, I know. Because they're what, like 25, 27 years apart, something like that. It's interesting because they both did feel like an overnight success. Like they just all of a sudden exploded. But they did it in such completely different ways because they're so far apart. So the first one, you know, gets tallied by viewers on television and the Nielsen boxes and all that, like very old way of figuring out who's viewing. And then, you know, now with the way you watch things on apps and streaming and all of those numbers and social media, you see it in that way. So it's strange and different, but very similar in that it was. It just took off all of a sudden. So I realized at one point, I was like, I think it was when I was sitting down during the first table read, I realized, oh, I'm the older generation. Like when I was in Twin Peaks, I was the kid and we had the older generation. Now I'm the older generation. But I'm very thankful for both. They're both really great.
When you're sort of on the street and you get approached, which do people approach you more about, Riverdale or Twin Peaks?
It's really even. And then it'll be something a little more random, like Sleepwalkers or Californication. Right. I mean, you know, you never know what's going to come my way. Yeah, but Joey. You're like, what?
Well, I have to let you go. That's all we have for you.
Oh,
but
well,
this was so wonderful. This show this season is on fire. Everybody, make sure to watch Riverdale tonight on the CW.
Yes.
And let's give it up once again for Määdchen.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.